Good afternoon, students. In previous lecture, we have learned about the Coulomb's law. Okay, Coulomb's law in what is general Coulomb's law and what is Coulomb's law in vector form. Okay, vector form means we have to take the position vector, and in terms of unit vector and in terms of position vector. Unit vector means r21 cap and position vector means r21. So in today's lecture, we are going to learn about the Coulomb's law in position vector form, and in here we'll go starts now Coulomb's law in position vector form. Okay, so this is the uh, expression, or this is the derivation of Coulomb's law in vector form. Here, observe that if there are two axes, x-axis and y-axis, you can take three axes also, x-axis and y-axis and z-axis also. If there are two charges q1 and q2, q1 is the first charge particle, q2 is the second charge particle. Okay, here r1 is the position vector of this charge q1 and r2 is the position vector of this charge q2, and this r21 is a unit, that is the direction of a position vector from q1 to q2, where r21 it gives the position of a charge particle q2 with respect to the q1, and it is given by r21, and r1, this is your position vector for the charge q1, and r2 is the position vector for charge q2. So according to the Coulomb's law in vector form, the force exerted on charge 2 due to the first charge, this force is given by, this is your k is the constant. Okay, uh, q1 q2 divided by r21 position vector cube into r21 vector, that this you have discussed in the previous lecture. But how will you write this r21 vector, r21 vector here, this position vector r21, this r21 vector in terms of position vector r2 and r1, it is written as r2 vector minus r1 vector, and this is the magnitude of r21 vector. How will you write this magnitude? This magnitude will be r21 vector minus r1 vector, their mod. Okay, so the force exerted on charge q2 due to the first charge is equals to the k this constant q1 q2 divided by, here we have to substitute r21 vector with r2 minus r1 vector, and here mod its magnitude and then it is cube, so its magnitude cube into this r21 vector is now can be written as r21 vector minus r1 vector. So this equation, okay, so this equation gives the, so this equation gives the Coulomb's law in terms of which form? In terms of position vector form. Okay, so in next we'll define what is dielectric constant. Okay, so dielectric constant from you can write from this equation. If you take the force between two charges when these are placed in the medium, means if you place two charges in medium another than the air vacuum, if you placed in water, if you place these two charges in a dielectric medium, okay, having permittivity epsilon, then what is the coulombic force? It is given by 1 upon 4 pi epsilon q1 q2 divided by r square. This is the equation for the force exerted on the two charges when these are placed in a medium. Okay, similarly if the two charges are placed in the vacuum or free space, okay, then what is the force? 1 upon 4 pi, this epsilon will be replaced with the epsilon naught q1 q2 divided by r square. You know the Coulomb's law, force is directly proportional to product of charges and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So if I take the ratio of these two equation, then force of the charge particle when it is in vacuum divided by force of the charge particle when it is in the medium, that ratio gives you the dielectric constant. So how will you define dielectric constant? Dielectric constant of the medium is defined as the ratio of, here it is important, I have to highlight is, it is the ratio of which the magnitude of force between two charges placed at a certain distance apart in a vacuum when two charge force, the ratio of the force when two charges are placed in vacuum to the force when two charges are placed in the medium. Okay, so this ratio, dielectric constant, gives the ratio of force of a charged particle when it is in placed in vacuum or to the force of charged particle when placed in the medium. If you substitute these two equation, the same term will get cancelled. 1 upon, if you substitute here, then q1 q2 r square, q1 q2 r square, 1 upon 4 pi, 1 upon 4 pi, it will get constant. And what we will get dielectric constant, which is the ratio of permittivity of free space divided by permittivity of the medium divided by permittivity of free space. So this equation gives the expression for the dielectric constant. Okay, and next we'll now here we have learned all about the Coulomb's law. It is in vector form. What is Coulomb's law, and what is Coulomb's law in vector form, and what is in a position vector form. Now we will going to study what are the limitations of the Coulomb's law. Coulomb's law is valid only for the point charges, means it is applicable for the charges which are only point charges, charges situated at particular point. Okay, as well as Coulomb's law is applicable only for the charges which are in a rest position. Rest position are which is moving very slowly. Generally it is taken as a charges placed in the rest position. But what happens if the charges are in motion? They will, if charge in motion, it produce the current. And here if the charges are in motion, the another force are comes into the play. So at that time we cannot explain this charges by using the Coulomb's law. So Coulomb's law is strictly applicable to the charges at the rest. And what is the third? Third is Coulomb's law fails the stability of the nucleus. So stability of the nucleus. So what is the stability of the nucleus? So means uh, if there are प्रोटॉन inside the nucleus. Okay, अगर कोई न्यूक्लियस लेते हैं तो उसमें क्या रहेंगे, प्रोटॉन रहेंगे. तो प्रोटॉन एक दूसरे को क्या करेंगे, these are the two positively charges. Nucleus consists of proton. So two similar charges will repel each other. And nucleus has very small dimension, 10 to the power minus 15 meter. How two charges, same charges, can be remains in the nucleus? Okay, so that is contradictory to the Coulomb's law. What Coulomb's law state that if there are two positive charges, they will repel each other. But in Coulomb's law, in a very small region, there are number of protons are lies inside the nucleus. So that concept is not explained by the Coulomb's law. That's why we say that Coulomb's law fails to explain the stability of the nucleus. So these are the three limitations of the Coulomb's law. In this way we have completed all points related to the Coulomb's law, and in next lecture we are going to start about the electric field. Okay, thank you.